It is officially 7-Eleven on 7-Eleven. Vesterr is 2. Well, we were officially 2 on June 22nd, but today we are celebrating our birthday. So thank you all so much for being here with us from the beginning. If you just found out about us, we appreciate you. My name is Davon Reeves. I am the founder and CEO of Vesterr, which is a crowdfunding platform. And today is my late father's birthday, which is one of the reasons why, actually the reason, one of the reasons why I launched Vesterr on 7-Eleven. So that way I won't be too sad. I'll be happy. And I'm a big fan of Beyonce. That's why if y'all was tuning in for the waiting music, it was 7-Eleven. So I was like, this is perfect. We have to launch Vesterr on 7-Eleven. It's my daddy's birthday, and my favorite musician, Beyonce, has a song called 7-Eleven. That's why we are launching on 7-Eleven, and that's why Beyonce was playing, for those who didn't know. All right, so yesterday is our second anniversary. That was actually 2 years ago on this day, same time. We celebrated the official launch of Vesterr, okay? Official launch, that's me throwing up the V's. Anytime you ever see me, I'm not throwing up a peace sign, I'm throwing up the V's. So thank you so much. 2 years, we're here. And so just to give you an overview of what we're gonna talk about, we're just gonna talk about what Vesterr is, what crowdfunding is, where the idea came from, what's been happening these past 2 years, what's going to be happening the next future years, our successes, our failures. We're going to let y'all know what's going on. So how many of y'all heard of Vesterr before today? How many of y'all heard of it? Because I know we got some folks that's new. Let's see. Oh, she found about it by Angelique. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you. Welcome. I have to tell her. Okay. Okay. Well, welcome for the folks who haven't heard about us. Welcome for the folks who have. Y'all already know. Y'all are Vesterrs. Y'all investors. So welcome to the Vesterr community. All right. My life didn't start popping until I joined the community. Oh, I appreciate you, Brady Quinn. All right. So what is crowdfunding for those who don't know? Crowdfunding, essentially what it is, it's us coming together and us investing and, using a microphone. I mean, using a website. That's pretty much what crowdfunding is, all right? For those who didn't know. Think of, has anybody ever heard of, has anybody ever heard of GoFundMe? Okay, so that's what it is. So crowdfunding. So there's actually 4 different types of crowdfunding. You have the rewards base, where if you invest or put money, you'll get some type of reward at the end. You have a donation base, which is like GoFundMe. You have the equity base, which is what Vesterr is, where you're investing and you will get some type of a security or some type of distribution or type of ownership. And then you have debt crowdfunding, where folks raise capital for debt. So essentially like banks or something, right? Or a fund, a debt fund. So that's what crowdfunding is. So what is Vesterr? For those who don't know, I know a lot of folks have heard about Vesterr on the call, so we appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the Vesterr community. But we do have some new folks who may have just joined us and they may not know what Vesterr is. So what Vesterr is, we are a regulation CF. So we are a member of FINRA, which stands for the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, and we are regulated by the SEC, which is the Securities Exchange Commission. So we are not just a website. We have to go through a lot of regulation and compliance. So this was definitely a journey to get us to this point, okay? And so think of Vesterr as an alternative way to invest in commercial real estate, right? And so that's what we focus on. We only focus on commercial real estate. You can't raise capital for residential. You can't raise capital for tech. We're not like Start Engine. We're not like Republic. we only focus on raising capital for commercial real estate. All right. And so sponsors, so basically what we do, we connect the sponsors to, to investors. So we connect the general partners to the LP partners, okay? So that's what we do. So what really sets Vesterr apart from our competitors or our counterparts, what we do, we accept both accredited and non-accredited investors. So an accredited investor is someone who has a net worth of $1 million or more, excluding their primary residence, or they have an income of 200,000 or more. And so with Vesterr, both parties can invest depending on the income level. All right. As I mentioned before, sponsors or funders is what we would call them. You can raise up to $5 million per deal, and it's a minimum. The minimum to raise is 250,000. All right. So, any questions before we keep going? We good? Y'all know what Vesterr is? Y'all understand crowdfunding? We can keep going. All right, let's go. I love it. Okay, so here is the Vesterr timeline. So I had the idea of Vesterr. Well, I didn't know it was Vesterr at the time. I just had an idea. Actually, fast forward from the initial beginning on my first free deal, I used a crowdfunding platform that I'm not going to mention, and it was Black owned. It was before COVID, and I did not have a great experience because I was trying to raise capital for a commercial real estate project. I think it was like a multifamily or something like that. And I was trying to raise capital because at the time I wasn't an accredited investor, so my options were limited to raise capital. And so I said, well, let me do the crowdfunding route, right? So I started doing research, and then I came across this crowdfunding website. So anyway, the experience was not great. Then roll around COVID, tried to do it again. The experience was worse. I was like, oh my gosh. So then when I found out that I could do it, then I realized while I was raising capital, there really wasn't anything like Vesterr for hotels. It wasn't a crowdfunding platform for hotels. And I said, you know what? If this person can do it, I can do it. All right. And because during my first deal, which was in 2020, the Oklahoma deal, shout out to the investors on the call. Old school, word of mouth, putting myself out there, and that's how we were able to get our first investors. So I didn't go through crowdfunding. I said it would have been so much easier if I had a site that I could put the deal up and raise capital. The process would have been easier both times on all the transactions. So in 2020, I was like, you know what? I thought about it before, but it wasn't the right time. It was in 2019. In 2020, and I didn't have the right partners. In 2020, the people who I was going to start the crowdfunding platform with, they were moving too slow. You know how sometimes people just be all talk. I'm about that action. How many people about that action? They're like, look, I ain't got time for you. I gotta, this train, what do we say, Amina? This train is moving. Okay. That's how I am. And these folks act like they want to get on the train. So I wasn't about to stop. So anyway, came with this idea in 2020. Anin, which I'll talk about in a few, he had a similar idea. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is God. This is what happens when you put stuff out in the universe. He was going the soon to be technology partner. He's like, hey, I have this idea. He comes from a community where the majority of my hotels, he's Indian. He's like, I had this idea about creating a platform to help folks get hotels. And I was like, oh my gosh, me too. December 2020. I remember like it was yesterday. So a lot harder than I thought. Okay. A lot harder. We had to go through a lot of regulations. We had to go through FINRA. We had to create the technology. So it's not just a website. Y'all think it's like, oh, she just threw us in there. No, it's a lot. So I had this great idea. FINRA was like, no. So then I had to change it. So that was 6 months off the timeline. Because they were like, no, it's not in compliance. You got to do it all over again. I wanted to combine education and do all this. I didn't want to do all this stuff, right? They're like, no. So then we had to redo the whole website. Added another 6 months. So then I had to go through So when you are become a member of FINRA, which again stands for the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, you have to go through a lot of compliance. And it's a lot of testing and it's a lot of understanding, because my job as the founder and CEO of Vesterr is to protect you as an investor. So they do a lot of training. Well, not really training, they do a lot of testing, and it's just a lot of compliance that we have to go through on the back end. And it took longer because we created our own technology. So I jumped from the hotel space to the tech space. I was like, whoa, what was I thinking? But guess what? The train wasn't supposed to stop. Raise the capital. So I did this without VC funding. All right. Shout out to some of the investors on the call. This was without VC funding. I was like, you know what? I got this idea. We're going to own the technology. We're going to do something different because I believe in ownership. Okay. So we're going to create this technology. We got approved. Amina was there with me. We got approved. I remember like it was yesterday, June 22nd, 2022. I was at the Hyatt Regency Miami when I saw the email. I jumped out of my seat because it was like the longest test of my life. It was like for 6 months to get that approval letter that we are officially a member of FINRA. Amina was like, what is wrong? Because we were speaking at a conference together. We got approved. And then I said, you know what? I said, we got to launch it. And I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, when we going to launch it? I mean, because I was praying. I was like, God, this has to happen. I can't let my investors down. I didn't put this idea out. It got to happen. So getting that approval letter, I said, ooh, thank you, God. I said, okay, so we got to launch. And I said, you know what? We going to launch on my daddy's birthday, July 11th. Matter of fact, I said, look, let me tell you how much faith I had in God. I said we was going to launch on July 11th and we didn't even get approved yet. I said, we launching on July 11th because that's my daddy's birthday. I was telling our tech people, look, we launching on July 11th. Like, I just knew we were going to get approved. We going to launch on July 11th, and we going to do on July 11th because I love Beyonce and she got a song. So I did a whole video and everything. A whole video. I don't know if y'all seen it on my Instagram and LinkedIn. Did a whole video of me dancing to 7-Eleven, recreated the video, me jumping back and forth on the bed, people in the hallway while I'm taping. Yeah, so it was the whole thing. Because that's how excited I was because we got approved. So again, I said, look at God. Then got approved on my daddy's birthday. I mean, it was the hype of the hospitality industry, okay? Because it was a big launch, it was a big secret. Only a few people knew, what was going on or what was happening on 7-Eleven. I mean, the chief development officer of Marriott was like, that's how I knew I made it in life. The chief development officer of Marriott was on the top hospitality podcast and was like, Davon dropping something on 7-Eleven. I want to know what it is. I said, oh, shoot. Can't wait. We dropped. Dang, we couldn't get a deal. No matter of fact, we had to change the technology. I said the devil trying to get in the way. We had to change the technology. We dropped on, I think that Monday, the technology changed on Friday. So I'm going crazy because we still dropping, right? And we were unable to put the deal on the site. So finally, someone from the Indian community reached out and was like, hey, I want to put your deal. I love what you're doing. I want to put my deal on your site. It's a hotel deal. She couldn't get the financing together. I said, this is the devil in my way again. So that deal didn't go through. So there was another gentleman out of Louisiana. He found me on LinkedIn and he wanted to put his deal on a platform. He needed to raise capital for a hotel. And he made it so low, $1,000. I think, how many people remember that deal? How many people remember that deal? The $1,000 deal. Look, everybody was like me. I was like, y'all, if y'all don't invest in this deal, y'all ain't gonna ever see where you can invest directly in a hotel for $1,000. That is not happening ever again in life. And it won't happen again in life because it ain't gonna ever get there. Look, I don't invest it. And we didn't quite hit the goal. And the funder decided, which we'll talk about in a few, or the issuer decided to give the money back. I was devastated. I felt like I left so many people down. But when I tell y'all, this Vesterr community right here, my friends and family, they was like, it's okay. We still love you. They was mad at the folks for not investing. I was so hurt. I mean, because I poured my sweat and tears and prayers and sacrifices. And I just felt like I left everybody down when that first deal did not go through. But God had something better for us. And I'll talk about it some more. We had Amina, AJ Investments was like, we on our second hotel deal. I said, wait a minute, what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna say that story for the end. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna say that for the end. So y'all gotta make sure y'all stay because y'all gonna want to hear the story. All right, so meet the team. So I'm Devon, for those who don't know, the CEO and founder of Vesterr. I've been in the industry for over 15 years. I started off as a front desk agent. I co-own 3 hotels, and I am the founder of a fintech platform. So I am in hotel and technology, okay? And I navigated my way from the front desk. I took a non-paid internship. I taught some folks along the way how to become hotel owners. And really the main reason why I created Vesterr is that I wanted to see more people of color. Anybody can invest, anybody can raise capital, but more people of color given an opportunity to invest or to raise capital. And then we have Anand Patel. He's our chief technology officer. He's been in the industry for over 12 years, and he's over our technology for the platform. So these are different ways to fund your investment. You can use a self-directed IRA, checks, or you can do a wire, credit or debit cards up to 5,000, savings, stocks, and mutual funds. I'm not a financial advisor, so definitely be sure that you work with the financial advisor to get any financial advice. And definitely, our investments are risky, so you definitely want to do your due diligence before you make an investment. So why Vesterr, right? So we're a crowdfunding platform. And like I said before, we're connecting the deal sponsors and investors, right? So how many deal sponsors do I have on the line? How many deal sponsors we got? Okay. I see some deal sponsors or funders. How many investors we got or future investors? Okay. I mean, okay, there we go. There we go. Got some investors in the house. What's up? What's up? So that's what Vesterr is. We are here to connect you all. Typically, people have a deal, they need equity partners, they don't know where to go, or we have potential equity partners, and they don't know where to go to invest. They're like, look, Davon, I'm not trying to do all this work. I just want to invest and get a return and keep it moving. So that's what we do. So what's the funder? Y'all may have heard me talk about that. So a funder is essentially, it's a Vesterr term, right? So it is an issuer or someone who proposes or raises capital on our Vesterr crowdfunding platform. So we actually have our very first official funder. We have Amina, and then we have a future funder on the line. We'll be talking about her deal in a few. So she's having we have an upcoming deal for someone who wants to invest in office space or more of a co-working space. So we'll talk about that in a few. So how investors, funders can start the capital raising process through uploading their pitch deck through our website, and just go to our website if you want to learn more, or send me a note, right? If you want to become a funder and raise capital. So what's an investor, right? So an investor, as I mentioned before, that's our Vesterr term for investors who actually invest in the deal. So we have our first set of investors through our first deal. They are our true first investors on our platform. So again, how you can become an investor, you just go directly to the website. If you see an opportunity, you do your due diligence and you create an account and you invest. So here's some updates. That's what's been going on in the past 2 years. I've been doing podcasts. I've been featured on Co-Star. Just featured on Angela Yee, so what's up? Shout out to my girl, Angela Yee. So that's what Vesterr's been doing in the past 2 years. We've had some events. In the past. This is our first in-person event last year. You may know who he is, who's sitting down. That's the iconic, that is the legend, Ambassador Andrew Young. I was so honored to have a one-on-one conversation with him as he talked about his life as far as being the one of the first Black ambassadors to United Nations. He was the first Black congressman after Reconstruction. He was the second Black mayor of Atlanta. He helped bring the Olympics to Atlanta. So yes, your girl was excited. I got a one-on-one with someone who I'm proud to call my mentor, Ambassador Andrew Young. And then we have some folks. We have myself. We have Chandra who helped plan it. We have Zacchaeus, our intern, our analyst. And then we planned it with Color Co. It was Jarvis, Yami, and then we had Troy, and then Philip, who's no longer with us, but he was our first employee at Vesterr. And then we sponsored a golfing event last year for Black commercial real estate. That's Keith Mack. Anybody in Atlanta, if you're in commercial real estate, you know who Keith Mack is. So we just had a good time. So that's lets you know what Vesterr is doing, getting the word out there and letting folks know about us. We changed our website. So our website changed. So we have a new one. That's what it looks like now. Won't have to worry about putting the old one up there because now it looks good and fun. And ta-da, our first successful deal. I told you if you was gonna stay to the end, I was gonna tell you. So this how God works. That deal didn't go through. Amina came and was like, yo. So Amina, shout out to Amina, AJA Investments. They were actually my first. I hope I don't cry. I've been crying all day. So Amina, I hope you don't have me crying now. So and I was crying because it was my daddy's birthday. I miss my daddy. But Amina and her husband and the other investors, the AJ investors, they were my first investors in my first hotel. And for them to be the first funders on Vesterr is just a full circle moment. And I'm just forever grateful for them. And when the deal didn't go through with Anvil Development, of course I was hurt and I was crushed and I feel like I let so many people down. Because my purpose was to increase the percentage of Black hotel owners and give folks the opportunity. And of course, I was discouraged by making it so low. And basically, God was like, I got some a little better for you. And then Amina was like, Davon, because she had her first hotel. When you closed your first hotel, Amina? She closed on her first, 2022? December 2022. So December 2022, she closed on her first hotel. She said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get the second one real quick. So she came to us in 2023. She said, Davon, I'm under contract. We're going to use Vesterr. Something told me. I don't know what it was. I said, this going to be it. Didn't I tell you, Amina? I said, this is why the Anvil development didn't go through, because this deal was supposed to be our first deal. I didn't understand it now. I didn't understand it then. But when Amina said it, I said, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the deal. So then Amina was like, wait a minute, I'm not finished. So Amina, Quania, Janelle, Norland, Howard, the group, the ownership group, they was like, wait a minute, we gonna make this little black deal. I said, okay, what you got? They said we got a Black hotel broker. Okay. They said we got a Black management company that's gonna handle the day-to-day operations. Okay. Then they are part of the Bold program by Wyndham to increase the percentage of Black hotel owners because they converted a Holiday Inn to a Wyndham. I said, okay. And then they use a Black-owned, woman-owned crowdfunding platform to raise the. I said, okay. You can't get much Blacker than Black in the hotel world. And then guess what, y'all? The whole entire ownership group is Black. The majority of the investors are Black, right? Is that right, Amina? Is that right? We root for everybody, but you can't get. But I said this is history. I said this is nothing but God right there. So shout out to all the first official investors who are on the call, because she gonna have some news in a couple weeks because it's about to close. This history, okay? History. This what I'm telling y'all has never been done. Never been done. And I would hope somebody could challenge me on it because it hasn't been done. So, God, when that anvil development didn't work out, oh, I was crushed. God said, wait a minute, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And he came right back. So y'all wait in a couple weeks. When that deal closes, history is gonna be a whole nother level. So shout out to the folks, to the investors who invested in the first deal. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm probably still waiting on your shirt size so you get your shirt. Okay. Yes. Yes. The first successful deal on always, God always has a ram in the bush. Okay. He came through with a black ram. I said, okay. Yes. History. Oh, and shout out to the women because the majority of the hotel ownership group are black women. Hello. 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 So y'all shout it out for AJA Investments. Give them some love, give them some praises because they did that. Okay. I'm just grateful that y'all allowed Vesterr to have a small little portion. I'm just grateful. Thank you all for having Vesterr being a part of history. Okay. Allison said, because Black women know how hard Black women work. That's right. Black women make miracles happen. That is right. So congratulations to AJA Investments. Congratulations to the investors who invested through Vesterr. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you for being a part of history. There we go. So we got some more stuff. We got some current deals. All right, we got some current deals. We got Genesis Development Capital. That is a retail opportunity where you can invest in retail. Go to the site. Miranda has some pictures on there, has some information on there. It's closing July 31st. You don't want to miss out because some folks missed out on the last deal. They be like, Davon, how can I get in? Y'all better be on Vesterr mailing list, okay? Then we got another deal. We got Lion Capital Investment Fund. It is with Nassau, excuse me, with Mike Ely. He has a combination of hotels and multifamily. So make sure you get on these two deals or go to the website to see if you're interested. It has the pictures, it has the information. So that way you can do your due diligence. If you have any questions, let us know. We make sure that we can get responses for you, okay? Now we have some upcoming deals, all right? So we have another hotel investment opportunity. The last one was a fund. We have a multifamily opportunity coming up as well. And we have probably an office / co-working space coming up as well. So go ahead and get ready. Go ahead and talk to your financial advisor. Go ahead and talk to your CPA so y'all can go ahead and get ready. I'm giving y'all a heads up so y'all can be like, dang, I messed up. Go ahead and talk to them now and do what you got to do. So when you get the email that say open for investment, you like, what's up? I'm ready. We got the two deals that I just talked about. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Some of them even on the line. If they want to jump out and say something, they can. I ain't going to call them out. But we got some future funders on the line. That's all I'm going to say. So if you want to stay connected with Vesterr, if you are not on our mailing list, please get on our mailing list. If you are not following us on LinkedIn, please follow us on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook as well. Send me a note at invest@vesterr.com. I thank you all so much for celebrating these wonderful 2 years. I can't believe it's been 2 years. It's been amazing. I learned so much. Basically, starting over again in my career. I was a trendsetter in hotels, and now I'm about to be I am a trendsetter when it comes to technology. So if you have any questions about Vesterr, please put it in the chat. If you have any questions or anything that you want to share, please put it in the chat. I'm here. Let's go. I thank you all. Any New York events? No, no New York. Yeah, you missed it. We were in New York in June. I probably won't do New York until next year, but I am coming to DC. Yeah, New York will be next year if I do it again for the conference. But DC choice is October 10th.